welcome back to Brisbane Health. So far we've discussed some treatments for sleep apnea. They should be individualised and can involve lifestyle changes such as weight loss, change of sleep position, improved sleep habits, change in alcohol consumption and smoking, and measures to improve nasal airflow. By far the most common and also the most successful treatment for sleep apnea is the CPAP therapy. Peter, tell me about the CPAP therapy.
Sure. So the CPAP therapy involves a machine which produces continuous airflow. That airflow is pumped down through a hose which eventually ends up in a mask that the patient is wearing. And obviously masks come in different shapes and sizes so that you can find a suitable one. And the idea is that while you're asleep, you've got this continuous pressure being coming down your airway, and as that pressure comes down your airway, you need to breathe over the top of that pressure. And so whilst that is happening, it's not possible for the airway to collapse as long as the pressure has been set correctly for you. So that's the idea of a CPAP machine. So it really involves a machine, hoses and a mask, and this is something that some people would have to learn to live with. And would have to get used to, because it is a little bit different, as you can imagine, at night, wearing a mask and having a machine and that sort of thing. However, people that actually get treated for obstructive sleep apnea with a CPAP machine, you quite often hear, "It's changed my life. I can function again. I feel normal." So that's the idea of the CPAP machine.
Now, Trevor, are you one of those people who started using the CPAP machine and it changed your life?
It gave me, it gave me my life back. I'm 60 years old and I'm playing cricket pretty well every weekend. When I got onto CPAP at age 50, as I said, I was a slug. I couldn't do anything. I just had no energy. Actually, I knew it was starting to work because I used to come home and sit down on the couch and sleep, as I said, until I went to bed. And I started using the CPAP and I started to stay awake. And daytime TV is absolute rubbish. So I got up in anger and started walking the dog, and 10 years later I'm still walking the dog and not watching daytime TV. But yeah, I was a grumpy little shit, basically. I was really, really bad. And you turn back into a human being. It takes about 3 weeks. It's a learned experience. But yeah, you turn into a human being again. It's
so nice to hear that you got your life back.
Yes.
And did you go in for a sleep study and talk to your doctor about
I did a sleep study. It was funny, Peter was talking about sleep studies. They put about 16 different things hanging off your head. You're in a strange bed in a strange room, and they say have a good night's sleep. But the silly thing is, if you have sleep apnea, you're so sleep deprived, you lie down and go to sleep. And what got me was the next morning I actually woke up, and I hadn't woken up for probably 10 years. I'd come to and struggled my way to the shower and kind of got moving, and that's when I knew this was different.
And so obviously it's changed your life so dramatically that now you've got a career in the sleep industry?
I have the most satisfying job I've ever had in my life. You actually help people. You have people that come in and they're grumpy and they're sleep deprived and they really don't want to know you, and 3 months later basically they're your best friend, because you actually really help people. There's very, very, very few people that cannot get used to CPAP, provided they've decided that they want to. The old Henry Ford thing, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably right. But so many people come in and they know that there's a problem and they want to do something, and as I said, 3 months later they're your best friend. Learning experience, and then they're at it.
Yeah, definitely. And is it an awkward or uncomfortable item to wear?
It feels strange. I mean, I wear my mask. I think I look like Tom Cruise in Top Gun. Okay. None of this Darth Vader stuff. Okay. Yeah, but you're asleep. So you actually know that you've got it on for 15 minutes before you fall asleep, and for a couple of minutes when you wake up. The rest of the time, the lights are off, your eyes are closed. It doesn't really matter. It's like glasses. You basically, they're there until suddenly one day they disappear. The same thing with a CPAP mask. You just put it on, and every night you wear it, and then suddenly it just doesn't worry you anymore. Yeah.
And what about your wives or partners or someone sleeping next to you? How does it go for them? Does it make a loud noise? Is it...
Number one, they're sleeping next to you. Okay, it's a lot quieter than snoring. It's a heck of a lot quieter than snoring. It's whisper quiet. It really is. I have mine on the floor so that any direct noise doesn't occur either, but you have the air conditioner on, you won't hear it. Any sort of noise, you just don't hear it. The technology has improved incredibly over the last 10, 15 years.
And have you guys met and seen a lot of people before and after CPAP and notice a big difference?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got people which essentially cannot function during the day. They are so sleep deprived, they're basically walking zombies. And the funny thing is, well, it's not really funny, but the fact is that before they are treated, they don't actually realise what they're like, how bad they are, because they've gotten used to this whole feeling over a period of time. They think it's normal. It's only when they are treated and they actually feel a difference, because it's a stark difference. It happens almost overnight. You put the CPAP machine on, you get a good night's sleep, the next day you get up, I feel very different.
It takes about 3 days and you're over the sleep deprivation.
And you
That's the amazing part, yeah.
And you definitely wouldn't live without it, would you?
I can't. I will never go back to the way I was. You don't, unless you've lived the dream, you don't understand how you feel and how badly you feel and how great it is to find the answer and to be able to do something about it.
Brilliant. Are they easily accessible? Are they easy to get? Is it through doctors or online? Or?
Well, you would have to have a sleep study.
Yeah.
Because there's different CPAP machines, you can set them up differently and depends on your severity of obstructive sleep apnea. There will be a prescription for how the machine should be set up, and that prescription would come from the sleep physician.
Yeah.
And
Dr. Google doesn't work.
That's right. And then once you've actually got that prescription, then you would go to a supplier of a CPAP machine and they would set your machine to that prescription, and if you go to a good reputable outlet, the people in the CPAP clinic will actually help you through the process of getting used to the therapy.
Oh, that sounds good. So much help and so individualised to your own.
You have to things like masks. Everybody concentrates on the machine because it's most expensive, but the mask is essentially the most critical part. It's where the rubber hits the road. You've got to be able to get it working, and you really need to find a place that will swap them, because until you've worn it for a week, you really don't know if you're going to be comfortable with it.
That's right.
Yeah.
In addition to CPAP therapy, there are a number of alternative treatments available. Emerging therapies such as Provent are increasingly popular, and Peter will help explain those options after the break.